Okay, guys. The last video I did, I kind of went over by a lot. It was 15 minutes long, and YouTube cut me off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all my questions in detail, like I've done previously, which really sucks because I'm thirsty and I'm lazy, and I have to leave in just a little while to go to Amber from Taekwondo. But I'm going to go over my questions, and then I'll just play one song. I'll probably play Closing Time. I think I'm comfortable enough with it. We'll see. It might be Holt. Um, but anyway, questions. I'm going to start with Coward Syndrome. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. You've probably told me. I can be kind of flighty sometimes. But she asked amazing questions. The first thing she asked me was why I left Six Little Milk Teeth as my Tumblr. And that's actually a really good question because the only thing I've ever really told anybody is that it was because I was angry, which was true. I had a massive bout of rage the day I deleted it, and I deleted a bunch of other things and lost 6 years worth of work. You know, some of it wasn't saved anywhere else. That's what I live with. I do that a lot. I delete random things and I regret it, 30 minutes afterward when I've calmed down. I should have learned by now, right? But I left Six Little Milk Teeth because a friend that I'm very close to was putting me in a slightly awkward situation that it was more than slightly awkward. It was heartbreaking because of who was involved, but I couldn't write about it because she was around. She followed me on Tumblr and she followed me on the Zynga I deleted and all this other stuff. And so I left basically so I could write without her reading it. And I know that's really selfish, but I I was angry and I wasn't writing to offend. I was writing to get it out of my system so I didn't go batshit crazy on whoever was around. Um, then she asked when I started writing and why. I started writing in 7th grade. I was probably about 12 or 13. Um, I was, yeah, 7th grade, 12 or 13, which will put me at writing for 10 years because I'll be 23 in September. So, yeah, 10 years. God, one of my younger sisters will be 9 this year. So that's how long I've been writing. Um, it's ridiculous. um, I, I was kind of influenced by my friends at that point in time. I think we all are when we're younger. Some of us don't grow out of it for a long time. It took me until 10th grade, and even then, it was still a little shaky. It wasn't until hell, probably when I moved out of my parents' house, that I, learned that it was okay, to not go along with what everybody else wanted just because that's what they wanted. You have to be your own person. I'm not preaching. This isn't my soapbox. But I started writing because they were basically the wrong group of friends. And I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. I smoked my first cigarette that year. It was a Black and Mild. Terrible, disgusting. I don't even know how in the hell I managed to smoke it. Unfiltered, never smoked before. But that was the first time, of hearing of self-injury, let alone, participating. But again, that's a different story. If you want more on it, message me. If you want more on anything I'm saying, message me. I will answer you 100% honest. There are other people who are going to watch this video than just my followers. I know. That's the crazy thing about cyberspace. um, she also asked, Coward Syndrome also asked me my inspirations. At first, my first inspiration, wow, was Emily Dickinson. I got everything I could on her, by her, and I read it all. I was surrounded by Emily Dickinson for probably 2 or 3 weeks, just reading and writing, and not long after that, Poe came into the picture, and then from there, after I realized what poetry had to offer besides just me myself writing, it was this crazy massive world opened up. But now I would say Sylvia Plath, which sounds really cliched, but the reason I'm inspired by her is because I was so moved at one point by her. I had in my freshman year of college, my second semester English teacher had me read Daddy from the overhead projector to the entire class. I had to leave the classroom afterward. I didn't finish class because I was crying so hard. I don't have dad problems. I have stepdad problems. But it really, it, well, as you can tell, it kind of struck me speechless when I was crying, and I got, I love class. But that's why I say Plath right now. Ask me again in, a few months or years, and it'll probably change. But right now, I'm definitely sticking with Sylvia Plath, despite the cliche. Dennis, the Vagabond King, asked me a question about the Kills, which really made me happy. I love the Kills. They are one of my favorite bands. He asked me, I'm not quite sure how he worded the question, but it was basically which Kill song would I choose to describe my life. I deleted all the questions on accident because I looked at work, but whatever. I would choose Back of the Shell, or At the Back of the Shell, or whatever. It talks about not being able to get something back, and I spent a lot of time worrying about not being able to get a lot of my youth back, and that song kind of it speaks about that. I don't want to go into it as much as I went into the first question. It's a little more personal. So, I mean, if you have a question about it, message me, like I said, if you have a question about anything. But that's what I'm going to go with At the Back of the Shell, and that's why. I got a couple of food questions. I guess everybody knows that I really like to cook. Treasure Nicole asked me my favorite food and my favorite candy. And Peaches asked me a food I dislike. I'm going to start with the food I dislike, which is going to be pate. I've had pate on 2 separate occasions. Both times. The first time I spit it out in the middle of the grocery store floor. I wasn't couth enough to spit it into a napkin. It was just so bad that I had to get it out of my mouth. It was liver pate, and I know liver. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm okay with liver. But God, that was so terrible. And then the second time I had it, it was mushroom and cheese pate, and I figured, oh, it's not meat. It should be okay. It shouldn't be that disgusting. Wrong. I managed to swallow it though. But God, never again. If they ever have pate samples, if you are a daredevil like I am, please be my guest. Eat some pate, but you will regret it for the rest of your life. Also, Vegemite's pretty bad. I had Vegemite in 8th grade. My friend did a project on Australia. She had been, and she brought back Vegemite, and that was pretty nasty. But I think pate is even worse than Vegemite. So if I was tied down and forced to choose to eat a whole jar of pate or a whole jar of Vegemite. I'd regret it later, but it's okay. I also don't really like olives or mushrooms. Go figure. And then my favorite food, there's this little restaurant here. It's local. There's only 2 of them here. They they're Mexican food, and they do these amazing tacos. These little street style tacos. They're $1 a piece, and you can get carnitas or barbacoa or fajita chicken or steak or plus they have lingua and just a bunch of other things. But I could eat those all day, every day, and never get tired of them because they have this amazing habanero salsa that goes on it. As far as candy bars go, or candy, Godiva chocolate. That's easy. Even though I'm not a big candy fan, I am kind of spoiled. Cafe of the Dam, Patrick. He asked me if I do in fact like smelling old gym socks because I said, ask me questions. If you ask me if I like to smell old gym socks, I'll tell you. I don't, Patrick. I'm sorry. So if you have any of your dirty old gym socks laying around, I don't want to smell them. Don't try to send them to me in the mail or anything like that because they'll get thrown in the washer and sent back to you. Peaches also asked me what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wanted to be either a paleontologist, a vet, or a marine biologist. I had big dreams back then. Now I would be a lot more happy with having a small job with something besides office work because I really hate my office work. But a small job was writing on the side. She asked me if I dream in English. I do most of the time. A lot of times it's also silent, or there have been some circumstances where it was in complete gibberish and I woke up really confused. And do I believe in superstitions? That's kind of a hard question to answer. In a way, I suppose I do. I believe if somebody believes in something enough, believe a lot. If somebody believes in something enough, it can happen. And that's kind of how I feel about superstitions. If somebody believes that that black cat crossing their path is going to be bad luck, or in the UK I've heard it's a white cat. So I'm screwed. I have a black cat and we have a half white cat. So, but anyway, if they believe that's going to bring them bad luck, if they believe it enough, something bad is going to happen, and they're going to relate it, and it's going to be kind of a Pavlov's dog thing. And every time they see a black cat, they're going to think something bad is going to happen. And I'm not saying that I look down upon them by any means. I believe that in a lot of cases they can be true, and they also relate to your culture, and so that's a kind of a sticky topic for me. That's all the questions I got. I'm running out of time again. I've talked to you guys for 12 minutes now. What I'll do is, because I've promised Nicole closing time, I've promised her for a week. I was supposed to do this over the weekend. I'm going to record those after I get something to eat and drink, and I'll post those up in a separate post. So, you guys, thanks for being there and for your encouragement and your conversation and silliness and the amazing words and everything. God, Tumblr is a home away from home, pretty much. But, okay, that's it, and I'll talk to you guys later.